Hello, am I live? Are you guys there? Let me see if I can get everything situated, refresh this, make sure we don't have any noise, and see if we're good. I think we're good to go. All right. And Martha Garza, first one here. Shout me out. So, shouting you out right now. So, everybody gets in to the chat. I'll shout out whoever, see what everybody's doing, and then we can talk about our topic for today: long term flips against quick flips and selling on eBay with Ross finds, thrift finds, all that good stuff. Alejandro, what's up? You're second in the chat, so shouting you out. And right now, in case anyone's interested, Cleveland is winning. They're beating Boston 30-19. So I can give you some updates while you're watching this live chat feed video, whatever you want to call it. Aaron, what's up? Aaron from Dallas. What's up to you? Green Granny Resell. Hiya. What's up, Alejandro? Wholesale, you getting into that game? Not really. I think you really have to know what you're talking about and what you're doing. You have to have a good system in place. And make sure you have plenty of workers too to make sure you get all of that outsourced. Eric, what's up? J Dog, Thrift, what's up? Good to see you in the chat, guys. I literally just left. Found a pair of Puma Disc Atmos Collab for 29. Good topic tonight. Quick Flipper, what's up? Good to see you in the chat. Martha, my favorite videos are your Ross videos. I was first to comment. Appreciate that, Martha. Good to see you. Thrifty Treasures, how's it going? Tanya, good to see you too. What's up? Jeff Campbell, what's up, man? So just saying to just some people coming in the live chat saying what's up to everybody. Anybody find anything good? Ross and or thrifting finds, Marshall's finds, let me know in the chat. Definitely interested. Susie Gum says hi. And I like to kind of get like like the live video based off of what happened on Monday's video. Monday's video, Didi's discounts, and that one was 5 pairs of the Flyknit racers. Let me know in the chat what you thought about that video, and had to do with like related to this video, which is like quick flip. So that one, all of those pairs did sell very quickly, and we're gonna break down quick flips against long term flips. So. Let's see. Jam356, what's up, Glenn? What's up? And then Jeff Campbell, your content. I love your content. Helped me out a ton. Appreciate that, Jeff. C Easy 13 Kobe Elites for like 50 or 60. That's pretty sweet. I haven't seen them, the Kobe 11s yet, but some people I've also been finding them at DD's discounts and Ross. So I'm gonna see what else I can find over there. Quick flipper. That mic though, appreciate it. Eric Ramos went to Plato's Closet, found some Oreo 5s today. Brian, that was a great flip. Talking about the Flyknit Racers. Ben's Vlogs, I found some Gold Untouchable 2 Super Bowl 50 for $18. That's nice finds right there. Where in the US are you finding all these good deals? So I live in El Paso, Texas, and we have a lot of Ross stores that randomly, I guess, have also kind of been coming up too. I think we're gonna get another one in the far west side of town. Ross in Atlanta is nothing like in El Paso. I can only imagine that Atlanta one's probably super packed, jam packed with people. Let's see some of the stuff I found. I think next week I want to do just kind of like random thrift finds and kind of talk about those and what I found. Lately, let's see, Plato's Closet. I did find some Flyknit Max. I got them for $40. Should be able to sell at least for like 90 to 100. Pretty good shape too. These, and then some of the random Ross finds. I know some pretty good stuff to show you guys too recently. I'll bring it out real quick. I don't know if you guys remember this Mamba Day, Kobe. Ross, $12.99. So in the back we got Black Mamba, and we got the years 2000, 2001, 2002, 2009, 2010, $12.99. I was really like I mean, it's a really good shirt, and I really don't want to sell it. It's not really selling for like a lot, but it is pretty sweet. Selling for about $30 right now. Pinching pesos, what's up? Good to see you. Um, Hendran Lee, sorry, I like your videos. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it. The other find I wanted to show you guys. Let's see. This pretty sweet Adidas jersey, baseball jersey. Might be kind of weird because of the color there, but black. Got the button up. Got the zipper right here on the chest, and $14.99, and the retail $70. You can see it there. Selling right now for about $50 range on eBay. So I found two of those. Might want to keep it, but let's see. Pinching Pesos back 15 years ago. Free Kobe shirts. I have them printed. Were best sellers. Oh, nice. The free Kobe shirt. That's hilarious. Stefano says, any soccer stuff? I did find Spain authentic jersey. I don't know if anybody else. I think I saw somebody else on Instagram that found it too. But what I like about it is that it's not the like $50 ones or the $90 jerseys. It's the closest are actually worn by the players type of jersey. So I found this one retail $120, and Ross had it for $29.99. Doesn't see it there. So I am gonna list some of this stuff soon, and some stuff is gonna be Ross finds of the week that I need to it's just kind of a mess. I actually gotta take a lot of pictures and list a lot of stuff for eBay. Let's see. Jem says Ross has been super dry in Long Beach, California. Alejandro says, hey, did you pay for Photoshop, or are you a pirate for merch? I paid for Creative Cloud. Pay for it every year subscription. Pinching Pesos, yes, back in his assault charge days. I know. And it's kind of funny though, because I think a lot of people kind of forget about those Kobe days. Ryan, any size 11.5 or 12 shoes? Actually, those ones that I got from Plato's Closet were 11.5. Nothing as far as Ross finds go. Let's see. Mr. Sadie, Leaning Tower of Pisa behind you. I know it's a mess back there. I need to clean up all that stuff. Stefano says, nice, great job. Keep it up. Appreciate it. Vane Garcia, any suggestions on women's items new to your channel? I do have some women's items that I did sell recently. One of them was like Seattle Seahawks tights that I got from Ross. I've actually sold 3 of those for $45 each. Ross had them for $19. So as far as like women's clothing goes, if you're sourcing at Ross, at least, I would pay attention to a lot of the athletic gear, a lot of the workout gear, a lot of even the high-priced, well-known brands, Michael Kors and all that stuff. If you can get them super cheap, sometimes they go really, really cheap on clearance. I would definitely recommend getting that stuff. Let's see, Pinching Pesos. If you have a student email, you can get the Adobe Photoshop subs for super cheap. I think it's like $15 a month. Yes. Also, back in the day, college days, it'd be super cheap. If you're a student, you give you the full disc, everything. But now they've changed a lot of that stuff. But you can still get it for pretty cheap. Danny Ryder, gonna catch you later on the replay for sure. No problem. If you're watching basketball, then playoffs are on. Yes, Cavs against Celtics. Gabriel, what's up? How are you? I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Sean says, any suggestions on electronic flips like iPhones? Oh man, that is tough. I don't think I've sold a lot of, even some of the iPhone stuff. It's been a while. Even I think also with the cloud, I think also makes it tougher when it comes to that. I wish I knew a lot more about it recently, but I haven't sold any Apple stuff, phone stuff in a good while. What's up, Anthony Montoya? 2 thumbs up. Appreciate it. Tito says, why do you not have a store on eBay? I mean, a store with more categories. I don't know. I just have all my stuff on there right now on eBay, but I got to list more. I can tell you that much. Kobe 11 Elite, what? Low color purple for 60. Worth copying. I think that's might be a little too small. I think at 8.5 plus $60. I think some of them Plato's, I mean, at DD's discounts have been for like $29.39. I think that's a really good price. Easy flip for Kobe 11s if you catch those. Tech channel. Do you keep your receipts for taxes on what you purchase to calculate the profit you need to claim, or how do you keep track of everything? Keep your receipts. Always keep different logs. I have like, well, here's one of them. I have another one. I write down every single thing that I buy, how much I paid for tax, how much I get, even stuff that's not even from stores. I keep track of everything, not only for taxes, but just to make sure that you're getting the right numbers that you're supposed to make for your item. You don't want to forget how much you paid for something and you're not making any money. So always keep track. You can keep track of the receipts, do that too, but logs I think will help you per month, and then you can break it down on the spreadsheets, which we've done a couple of other videos in the past. Ryan, I best find his Oregon Nike trainers for 50, sold for 135. That's a nice little flip. Let's see, Ben's vlogs. Have you sold a backpack? How do you ship them? You can do that with the backpacks I've done in a medium flat rate box, or depending, you might be able to just get the priority mail boxes that are kind of similar size. Also depends on the weight of the backpack, but they do fit in there. If you can kind of fold them gently, you could put them in there. Evelt says hello. I say hi. Mario says, I got some Brazil Home 2016 dry fit jerseys, $14.99. Brand new retail, $90. Awesome find. That is a good find. $14. Were those the kids ones? I think I might have seen those Brazil ones too. Aaron says, apply every 2 weeks for merch. Any suggestions on how to get invitation? Let's see. I'm a graphic designer with a website that I link. Yeah, it's gonna take some time for merch. They're super behind right now. I have a friend that's been waiting for like 10 months. I have another friend that's been waiting for a year. Some people have been getting in 3 or 4 months. Hopefully you will, but I would just stay patient with it. It does take some time. Anthony, ever tried to flip action figures? Be able to flip some from TJ Maxx, $10, sell for $35. For action figures, I have, but I haven't done it in a while. When I used to work at Toys R Us, I used to flip a lot of like the WWE figures. And those I'd have to like really be cautious on how I packed those, with a lot of like the bubble wrap and putting them in the right size box so they don't move around too. So I haven't done a lot of action figures in a while. But one, not really action figures, but action play set will actually happen Ross find of the week in like 2 weeks. I'm just getting around the editing. But if you do follow my eBay, you will see that certain play set they do have for sale. Dirty Harry Film says, yo, what's up? Good to see you in the chat. Pinching pesos, put backpacks in large, poly mailers laid flat. You can do that too. I got like a JanSport backpack. Someone shipped that to me in exactly that. Like they they folded that thing pretty creative. Like they got that down to like a nice little square, and then it was less than 16 ounces. So they did pretty good on that. All these people waiting for merch makes me feel super crappy about my merch account. I have one shirt on, but I still got in September 2015. So congrats on that. And yeah, a lot of people have been trying to get into merch. It's going to take some while. Tito says pinching pesos in the house. Yes. And let's see, Anthony. Yeah, collectors are picky for sure, especially with Funko Pops too. They're going to be really picky when it comes to that stuff. So pinching pesos, yes. Talk to pinching pesos. Talk to Deborah. Say what's up to her. And let's see. So long tail. Let's see. We're talking about. I have all my notes here, but quick flips, and there is a kind of like a middle ground too when you're talking about selling on eBay and Amazon, and long-term flips. So there's 5 tips that I do want to start off that you must remember when you're buying something at Ross or thrift store or something like that, and you're looking at the quick flips versus the long-term flips. So the first thing, you have to look at the current market. And one of my examples that I'm going to put into this has to be from Monday's video, which is a DD's discount flip. So looking at the current market, who's selling, how have these shoes been selling? How long has it been taking like for these shoes to be selling? Have they sold recently? A lot of questions kind of go through your mind when you're buying shoes, especially selling or buying shoes for $50. In this case, the DD's discounts Flyknit Racer Find, $46.99 came out to about $50. I really wanted to break down the current market and who's selling. And funny thing is, in the comments, not in the chat, but in the comments of that video, Ray actually told me, he's been, a long time subscriber. He told me he was like the $85 one. That was like the low end seller. Because I show my phone when I'm scrolling through it. He was actually the one selling it for $85. So on the low end, I know someone is selling them for $85. I'm spending $50. The high end, we had some going for $100, some for $120. So it's kind of like, what range to kind of be smart about it to sell these Flyknit racers and to get rid of them, at least to sell them to make, a good profit. So yeah, we want to look at the completed listings, but I think the current market is extremely important when it comes to that. Who's selling at, who's selling them? What sizes do they have available? That's the next thing. So if I have a size 10, four size, let's say size 10, everybody else is selling size 9, size 8. Okay, cool. I have a bigger size, a little bit more popular size compared to the person that's selling them really, really low at $85. I think I have some leverage over them. So that comes into play too. The third tip, how much did I pay for the item? In this case, I was paying $50 for the shoes. Someone else that's maybe they found them at the outlet paid $59 plus tax. I paid $46.99 plus tax. So I have a little bit more room to play with compared to someone that's spending an extra $15 on it. That's gonna play a role in this because they're gonna want more money in the end. I have some leeway there with paying $15 less, so I can take a best offer of $85 to $90 compared to this person that won't be able to do that because they spent $15 more. The next thing you have to really consider is how much money do you have to invest in products. If you don't have a lot of money and you're strapped for cash, then this is going to be tough because you're going to need a quick flip to reinvest in a new pair or more items from thrift stores or Ross or wherever you're sourcing. So that does play a huge part in how much money you have to invest compared to somebody else that has more money to invest and they're going every single week. Then that's a totally different game. Let me go back to the live chat. Let's see. Ryan, I flipped some stance socks from Ross before. Nice. JC Leo, love your vids. Young, aka Retro Aficionado, is catching the live show. Appreciate that, Young. We got a podcast tomorrow. We got work to do. Leisure Picker says quick flips versus long terms. That's what we're talking about today. And Ryan, why don't you sell shoes on Amazon anymore? I haven't done a lot of shoes on Amazon, really, because at first I was good to go. I was selling them, and then I got restricted. After that whole Birkenstock thing, and I got restricted during that part. So Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, I couldn't sell. And then merch came, so I got totally into merch by Amazon. And then up until maybe 2-3 months ago, I started scanning again at the Nike outlet, and I was like, what? Like, ended up finding out that I'm not restricted on Nike anymore, but I'm still restricted on Adidas and Under Armour. So I guess I got grandfathered in to the Nike stuff because I'd been selling it. I just haven't got back into it since merch pretty much took over. Juan says, shout out from San Antonio. What's up? Let's see. Jam says, I noticed some eBayers buy the shoes in bulk and undercut the selling price big time. And that's a thing, though. Like, that's not going to help in the long run for anybody when they start undercutting. But that's also them going deep into like 5, 6, 7 pairs of the same shoe. And we're going to talk about one of the mistakes, at least that I have, that's still kind of sitting here. Emmett says, I want to get some Jordans, but I don't know where they are. Please help. Jordans, just depends what kind of Jordans. Retro Jordans, team Jordans, whatever Jordans. You can find those Ross or Marshalls. Deborah says, Glenn, you didn't get in when they did the brands free like all 2 months ago, where they're just approving people. I didn't. I just got grandfathered in, I guess, from back then. But then I got restricted and then I got back in again. So I don't know. Amazon's been kind of weird when it comes to that stuff. How were you when you started YouTube, and how do you start? That's like a totally different subject as far as YouTube stuff goes. But I started off by just doing shoe videos and Ross finds, but I didn't really talk about it or show my face. So that's when I first started. All right, so quick flips. I want to talk about this as far as a couple of factors that come into it, and how do you know when you should flip something quickly or when you want to flip something quickly. So here's the first thing. That's funny. Some of the stuff in the chat's hilarious. Okay, so one of the first things, looking to flip, quick flips. Some people obviously want to do it to make money for profit. In my case, I was with the DD's discount finds. I wanted to make sure I made the over the 40%. So whatever, pretty much any of those, I don't know, like what are they called? Offers that came in, I was definitely willing to listen to as long as I got over my 40% ROI. And I wasn't going to be hungry about it because I already had plenty of them I needed to flip. So I had 4 pairs of that certain Flyknit Racer color. I knew that I needed to get rid of those. So as soon as they came in, all right, cool. I got my numbers, sell it, onto the next pair. Same thing. Oh, nice offer, came in, accept, onto the next pair. And a lot of people do get, I don't know, very romantic, like with the shoes that they find, that like, I must get $50 profit on this. But you only paid, $30. I mean, you don't have to get huge home run hits every single time, but as long as you're hitting your numbers and you're making the money and the profit that you want, then that's all you can ask for, because you're going to get that money back. You're going to want to reinvest in something else, and then now you can sell those things. So it's kind of like you make your money, you continue on to the next find. But 3 factors that come into play when you're talking about quick flips. The first one is the market tanking. And a shoe or something might have came out in the very beginning that you're like, all right, this is selling really, really good. I found it. Now that I bought it, I'm going to list it, get it on there quickly. And then you see it's kind of slowing. It's kind of moving a little slower. All right, a little slow. And you start to notice that people are coming in under you, and they're starting to lowball. They're starting to get, not nearly as much as what you thought it would get for that item. So my example for that one would be the LeBron Soldier Ohio State shoes that I picked up. Those I picked up at Ross in the very beginning. They were selling really, really, really good. I think the last completed listings had like 120, 140 range. And then once I got them, I noticed that they were really starting to tank, like $89. Some of them even less, like $69. And I was like, man, what happened here? And what happened was, a lot of the Ross finds, as far as like that shoe goes, a lot of people were finding that exact same shoe. So that's what happened. They started tanking. And not only that, a lot of the similar sizes too, over and over and over again. I thought it was going to be like one of those one-time finds that was kind of like, all right, cool. I don't think a lot of people are going to find these, but sure enough, they started coming out more and more. And we've seen some of those one-time Ross finds that have done well. But in this particular case, a lot of them of that same shoe started coming in. The market tanked. Now you have to make that decision. Am I going to quit? Am I going to flip this thing quickly just to get my money back? Or am I going to hold on for the long term to see if I can get that money down the road? And in that case, and with the market tanking, lower and lower, you just have to do a quick flip to get that money back, reinvest in something else. Bad buys are going to happen. All right, let me go back into the chat. Let's see. Quickest flip today because I flipped Hyperdunk 2016, flying it for 50 at Ross. They sold for 135. So yeah, that's a really good flip. And let me see. Let's see, man, where am I? Now I'm right behind. What do you use as your reference for market pricing? I like to see the eBay completed listings, and then I like to see what people are currently selling them for on eBay, and then I'll also check Amazon just to see, because some people prefer Amazon over eBay, some people prefer eBay over Amazon. Just depends what platform they're on, but I like to just see what people are currently selling. Let's see, I found LeBron today for 75 at a thrift store. Let's see, Jaime says, I've been putting my profits back into the business for almost a year now. How much cash is enough so I can begin to take my profit out when I sell? Well, that's an interesting question because that just totally depends on your business model and, how much. You say you've been doing this for what, almost a year now? Man, even a year is kind of tough because I would still, even after a year of like reselling as much as I was doing, I was still putting in that money back into, it was actually just going to two things: back into me sourcing more items, and then the other part of it would go into my student loans because I really need to get that paid off. So paying off debt, all that really came into play. Also just depends, like, what are you working somewhere else? Are you doing reselling full time? That also goes into play. Let me see. Do you list as soon as you acquire, or do you wait to see if a market price goes up? I list as soon as I can, because if you have that item in your hand, you want to make sure you list it as soon as possible. You already saw what the market was when you bought that item. So I would list it ASAP. You want to see what you can get for it automatically. You don't want to wait for anybody else to jump in to the market, and then now you're seeing that flood. Kevin said, did you find any more North Face and Supreme? I didn't, unfortunately. Nothing else. What do you think about buying and selling Supreme stuff? If you can do it, I would. You might want to try. I mean, you can do it on eBay, but I would just make sure you have great feedback up. You don't want to get ripped off, and you don't want to make customers think that you're also ripping them off because you're a new seller. Because you're talking about high-priced items when it comes to like shirts or hoodies or whatever else you're selling when it comes to Supreme stuff. So I'll just be kind of wary of that stuff if you're a new seller. So the next factor with quick flips is that the offers that are coming in and the amount you want are slightly under. So whenever you see that's coming in, the best offers that's coming in, you want to keep that into play, into consideration. You don't want to just deny everything that's coming in because you want somewhere very near to that home run hit. So we kind of talked about that before too. As long as you make your numbers, go with it, sell it, get rid of that item, especially if you have multiple colors of that particular shoe. In that case, what I had. So that's what we talked about too. So the last factor would be the multiples of that item, which that stuff also comes into Amazon play. When you have multiples of one item, that would come into play. Like, let's see, my example would probably be like Q4 stuff when it comes to like toys. I think I went like 30 or 40, what was it, at Target when they had Shopkins exclusive, how you couldn't really see, like a blind box. And at the time, they were really, really selling good. Target exclusive. They were really, really hard to find. I think I went 30 or 40 deep into those. And as soon as I got them, I shipped them straight to Amazon. So that's one of the examples too, where you don't want to wait for other people to jump into the marketplace if you already have like one step ahead. I shipped all of those. And then the very beginning, once they got checked in, I think I sold at least half of those, sold very quickly for the price that I wanted. And then the market started kind of tanking a little bit more. I was making less profit. And then towards the end, I think I had 3 left, and I just made my money back on those. So that was one of the examples as far as Amazon goes, with the quick flips and what to do with the marketplace. So it's always good to send in or list your item as soon as you find it or as soon as you can. Don't let other people jump into the market. If you're already there, flip it and continue on to the next items. All right, so Gabriel says, hi, I'm late. Jaime says, I'm a student with no debt, just looking to do this side hustle while I'm in school. Well, in that case, then I think it's totally different situation. If it's a side hustle, then I would probably at least reinvest like 60 to 70% of the money that you have back. Reinvest into getting more stuff. The other 30% depends on what you want to do with it. If it's going to help you pay for something, you said you don't have any school loans, but if it's going to help you pay for rent, car loan, credit cards, then that's extremely important. If you're going to use that extra 30% to buy Jordans or, to buy food, alcohol, things like that, like leisure stuff, I don't think that's a really good, anything good to use that money for. So it just really depends on what you want to use it. But if it's going to go to bills and things you need to pay off, then definitely worth it to do it for that. Anthony, would you list on both platforms? If so, how do you keep tabs on inventory not to oversell? So in that case, well, Amazon is different because most of the stuff that I would be sending in was for Amazon FBA. So in that case, I couldn't list on both platforms because I'd be sending it straight to the warehouse. But if you wanted to do something like eBay and Etsy, which I've done before too, for like older thrift items, you can definitely do that. And that you would just need to keep track on your phone to see on which one sells. But as soon as one sells, you have to be super quick to take it off to the other platform. You really have to know like which ones are on both platforms, because at one point I did get a little lost. So you just got to really, really stay on top of things when it comes to that. All right, so quick flips. How do I know when to break even? Which I've gotten this question a lot when it comes to the Ross finds, because a lot of people are like, how long should I wait? Like these shoes haven't sold yet. Should I return them? So how do you know when to break even? Number one, if you're consistently getting offers, or even if you have watchers, no one's even sending you offers, but at least you have 5 watchers, 10 watchers, and those watchers are building up, at least you know that there's people that are interested in your item. You may get an offer the next day. You might get an offer, I don't know, 3 days from now, but at least you know people are interested. Personally, and when it comes to shoes, they've been kind of waiting there for a little while. I wait the 30 days. If you're strapped for cash, then yes, you can return them. I haven't returned anything in a long while. I plan to wait at least the full 60 days, 2 months on a shoe before I'm really like, oh, you know what? It was a bad buy in the end. I'll get my money back, or I'll make a slight small profit on it. But at least giving it 2 full months to see what it does for the long term when it comes to at least like Ross finds in our example, then okay, cool. Now I know I can stay away from that certain shoe. I've waited on it for a good while. I'll wait the full 60 days unless you're strapped for cash and you need that money back and it was a bad buy, then go return it in the 30 days. And I guess another thing to keep in mind though is that how is your pricing? Like, is your pricing too high, like compared to everybody else in the marketplace? Is your feedback really, really low on eBay to where maybe people don't really trust you yet? Do your pictures suck? Like, do you have a whole bunch of things in the background? Is the lighting super dark? Or maybe you don't have the right pictures where people don't know like what size shoe it is. Can they see the inside tag? Can they see all the details in the shoe and or clothing? And sometimes listings just suck. Like on clothing, I like to put the measurements on every single thing when it comes to like shirts. All right, cool. The width, length, Is there any like, holes, or when it comes to like used clothing, holes, stains, tears, rips, anything like that? You have to make sure your listing is legit to make sure people know exactly what to look for when they do find your item. I mean, all that stuff's going to come into place, and maybe they're ignoring it because right off the bat, you can already see the picture sucks. So there's a lot of things that come into play when it comes to um, that and ignoring people's listings. Aaron says, do you have or best offer on your items? Yes, I do. And the reason why I have best offer on my items, buy it now with best offer, is because eBay like ranks up that stuff in the search as far as like best match goes. If you're willing to accept an offer, eBay does like that kind of stuff instead of just being, all right, buy it now. Either it's going to sell for this price or it's not. And then I get frustrated because people do get frustrated. They want $120 for the fly knits, no matter what. But you have to listen to offers because you can still make 40% or higher depending what your business model is. In my case, it is 40%. But I would definitely listen to best offers when it comes to that. Do you ever sell internationally? Yes, through the global shipping program. Probably the best thing to happen for international sales. And let's see, Emmett, I just email you some Jordans. Okay, let me know. I'll take a look at the email. Nara says how to ship shoes. I think we talked about shipping shoes before, at least in a couple of other videos. Most people paid in full price and don't make offers in most cases. Probably they don't know that they can. And those are like the best flips because I'll have a best offer and then the buy it now one will just come in. And some people don't want to wait too. If they really, really want that item, they're not going to send you a best offer because they want it now and they figure the price is good enough anyway. And those are the ones we like because they pay instantly and you have to worry about any of that stuff going back and forth. So yeah, great point with that one. And all right, so some middle ground, like these are items that are not only can be quick flips, but they actually can be a long term and middle ground. Like you don't really know because they're so popular that they're long tail because you can get the price that you want for it, but yet they can also be quick flips because they're so popular. So these items could be like that Supreme shirt that we found at Ross. It's super popular. So I know that it probably will move soon, but if it doesn't, I also know that I could wait the long term and get the price that I want for it because it's worth that amount and I got it for cheap. Same thing with like vintage video games. If you find Mario Kart 64, it's a popular video game. So more than likely it will move quicker. But if it doesn't, you also know that you can play out the long term and get the price that you want for it because you already know what that market price is worth for that particular game. The next example would be like champion jerseys. We know that they're out of production. Like you find an old school Bulls Jordan jersey. We know they're out of production. We know people want it. We know that they are easy to flip, quick flip if you want to. But you also know that you can stay the full long-term process and get the price that you want for it because no other random champion Jordan jerseys are going to come out unless they're fakes. So in that case, out of production, people want them. You can wait the whole thing till you get the price you want. Let me go back. Are you looking for 40% return on all of your items? Well, 40% return as far as like the Ross items go, because I'm putting in a little bit more money into it. With thrift finds, if I'm investing like $2 on like this Tom Brady jersey that I got at Family Thrift Center, then more than likely I'm going to make more than 40% on that. I mean, it's only $2, so I'm probably going to make more than that. So, I mean, 40% is kind of like the minimum ROI when we're talking about return on investment, especially when it comes to the raw stuff. Jose, what's up? Good to see you in the chat. Tyler, can you get a shout out? Yes, you can. What's up, Tyler? B-ball is life. I spent 14 and 19 on 2 pair of KD8, size 6 and 6.5. Can't get rid of them. They are new. What should I do? So KD8s are part of that bad buy range, and not really just to bash you either, because I also fell for it in the beginning, because I also have two pairs of KD8s that have been sitting here, and I did get them for super clearance. One of them is men, the other one's for kids, and they have been sitting here too. So you can't get rid of them. What you should do, I would probably do these options as far as like the KD8s go in your particular situation. Number one, you're going to break even and just sell them on eBay, whatever you can, or you're going to take a small hit on it just to get rid of it and at least get that money back, reinvest in something else. It happens. Bad buys do happen. That's just part of the game. Number two, you can try to sell them locally, and that's to make a small profit or to at least just break even. Locally, I would probably do OfferUp, or I would do like a local Facebook group. There's always going to be people interested in shoes for their kids. You said 6 and 6.5. So that's what I would recommend when it comes to those particular shoes. So those two options, I think, at least to get rid of them, get that money back, reinvest in something else. Let's see. Jam says, I notice a lot of customers pay for shipping. And that's interesting too, because that's been kind of up and down with me. I think in the very beginning when I really started to do stuff on eBay, they did pay for shipping. And then over time, I think maybe because I have like I don't know, like 200 or 300 followers now in my store. Obviously, a lot of it came from the channel. But I think even before that, before I even announced it with the channel, I had like 60 followers. I think they got used to like the same things in my store, which was like shoes, jerseys, sometimes video games, things like that they're interested in. And then they would also see that I had free shipping when it came to that stuff. So a lot of people, and also your feedback, also that stuff comes into play. You build that following up. As soon as you list things, people are ready for it. So I think that also kind of comes into play. Oscar says, I found Curry 2.5 at Goodwill for $12. DM me on my Instagram. Nice. I'll take a look at that, Oscar, and for sure I'll respond to that. Does Ariel says, does those sneakers from Ross not having boxes hurt its price? Depending on the shoe, but more than likely you will sell them for a little bit lower than the people that do have it complete with the box. But the good thing is that since you don't have the original box, you can save money on shipping by sending them into the USPS shoe box. They more than likely fit in there. You will save money on that. Even if you do charge for shipping, you can probably charge a little bit more and make some money off of that, because brand new with the box, you're automatically looking at like 14 very low end to like $18 shipping to ship that out, and it won't cost nearly that much for Ross finds without the box. A Bebe says, so A Bebe gets a shout out here, and in 2 weeks, A Bebe gets a shout out on Ross finds of the week. Crazy find that he let me know about. Let's see. I'm trying to break even is rare in the reselling world. The norm is 3.5 profit net. That's interesting too. And even breaking even, and it does happen, but you want to make sure that you are making money. That's the main point. But like even losing money will happen if like a return comes in or a defect. That just comes with being in the business world. Free shipping boosts your sales extremely. The word free is very convincing. So that's true too, I think, with eBay. But I don't know, people have been mixed. They've been selling things, with free shipping and by having the customer pay for shipping. Just totally depends on your store and your following. But free shipping has been working well for me, and even be able to make my numbers with free shipping. Okay, so some of the other like long-term items that I kind of want to talk about too, seasonal items, which we haven't really talked about, but like right now, in my case, what did I sell recently? I sold an Eli Manning jersey for kids that I got at Family Thrift Center. I sold it for $20. In this case, football season isn't anywhere around right now. It's going to take a while. What, August, September, football starts really rolling around. I figured that's a pretty good long-term buy. I got it for cheap. Family Thrift Center. I knew Eli Manning, obviously still on the roster. Giants fans would still want to buy the jersey. That's a long-term flip for me as far as like months down the road. But it ended up flipping like a week later, which I didn't plan on that happening. But I figured that would be a good long-term find. Holidays also come into play. People have done this for years. As soon as Halloween's done, you pick up all the Halloween costumes that you know that people are still gonna buy. Especially like Star Wars. People that have things like that have a huge following. They're gonna buy it no matter what. You get them for super cheap, dollar, $2, $3 because they were 90% off. At Walmart, Kmart, and things like that, or even like the Spirit store. So those are long-term items. Like, you're going to buy them. You're going to wait all the way until next Halloween, but you know that from the $2 to $3 investment, you're going to make 25, 35, maybe even $40. Same thing with like Halloween masks, Christmas things too. That stuff comes into play. And I've held on to, what did I sell? I know it was Christmas. Long term would be like, what did I find? I think it was Thrift Center. It was like a Simba Christmas stocking. And like it was in the middle of like March. So I held on to that all the way until December. And then sure enough, Lion King, random fan, bought it and paid. I think they paid like $30 for it, and I got that one for $2 at Goodwill. It's $1.99. So that's another long-term type of find that you can hold on to. You're gonna make the money for it. You got it for very cheap. Christmas always comes around every year. There's no hiding that. So no surprises. Christmas is coming. There. You sell it and you make that money from it. Let's see. I charge shipping depending on the item. Super popular stuff I ship from, but is heavy or rare, I'll charge. So yeah, totally depends on the item. Found Kobe 11 grapes today for $40, listed for 140. Yeah, Kobe 11 grapes for $40. That's a really, really good deal compared to spending 60 plus tax. I think you're getting 140, even taking the best offer for 120. No doubt that should be a really good sell, and probably do it somewhat soon too. Gabriel, does Family Thrift Center get stock on a certain day? Family Thrift Center has been kind of weird. Like, I think they've been getting things every day. As far as like, I've been going every other day. Sometime I'll go back to back days. All the times that I've been going, like they have been getting stuff most of the time that I've been going. So I don't know. Family Thrift Center is like in a totally different system compared to especially like Ross when they get shipments in from the truck. Do you set a percentage of spending for long-term finds, or do you just wing it? I don't really have a percentage when it comes to spending for long-term stuff, but if it's something that's super cheap, like Christmas, Halloween, those type of things, I'll invest as much as I can because it's just very low cost things that I know are going to come up down the road and people are going to need or want those things down the road. So I really don't, it just depends on the item, but if it's super cheap, I'll just invest more and more into it. Ball is life. Not all KD8s are bad selling because I bought the N7 KD8 at Marshall's, 50 sold for 105. So yeah, the N7, maybe even at Pearls, those are just different cases. But if you're talking about the basic colorways, then like the ones that I picked up, then yeah, those were bad buys. Michael says, I've been selling the Nintendo NES Classic Console retail 59, selling for 275. I know that's been crazy with the NES Classic Console. And that's also another like popular item it's like, that could be an easy, quick flip, right? Because people are still heavily interested in it. But you also know that you can wait on it because people are going to give you the money that you want for it because it's so popular right now. So you're kind of in between, which you can also, make really good money from it. And then Jeff found some Kobe 8 at Goodwill for $8. I'm new to the shoe game, but seemed like a good risk to take. Yeah, that's a really good risk for $8 for the Kobe 8s. You should be able to make really good money, especially if they're really good shape. Texas Gal Treasures, how's it going? Margaret's in the house saying hi. Anthony says stupid NES console. I know. And then to see if the Super NES console comes out. We'll see if that happens, which I don't know if it was rumored or was it confirmed for this Christmas. I don't know. We'll find out. Unless you guys already know, let me know in the chat. Michael says, check local Target Tuesday and Friday. That's truck days. So that's a pretty good, nice little tidbit there, Michael, as far as the classic console. But I know it's going to be discontinued, all of that. So I can only see that stuff going higher. My cousin actually got 2 of them. And I know she's playing with one, but she always plays. Her and her husband always play. I don't know if she opened the other one or not, or maybe she plans on reselling it. I got to ask her. And Anthony says, yeah, I think it's confirmed. And then Cho says, I just sold an empty N64 controller box for $15. Game stuff sells great. That's crazy. Just the box alone. So another long-term item that I want to throw out there as far as like Ross finds go are like the huge shoes, size 16, 17, 18. They go down. They go down in price because people often ignore them. My example, I think from the last video was like those Patriots cleats that I found. They went down to, was it $5.99 or something like that? They went down to super clearance. People often ignored them because they're so huge. Those are going to be long-term finds. People will eventually buy those shoes from you, but they're very low cost item because you got them for super clearance. So don't ignore those huge sizes. I know they look super hilarious when you first see them. Don't ignore them. They can make you money down the road, not immediately, because I know they're all huge. Not everybody's going to be looking for those, but it does happen. So DZ Does It says, I'm sitting on some size 17 Kobe 10s where all the Bigfoot shoppers at. And that's the thing that we talked about. Like, the bigger the size, more than likely it's going to be more for the long-term find. But the Kobe 10s, which I paid for those two at $29.99, I only have one pair left, and that's at the 14.5 size. So those in general, I had in mind for like long-term. Like, I knew they were going to sit and it's going to take a little bit longer to sell, but I'm only paying $29 on them, and I know what they're worth, which is $100 or more. So that's just more for long term, and I would just hold on to those for the long run. But someone will buy them. But the lower you spend on them on super clearance, like Jeff says, I'm scared to buy those huge sizes, those huge shoe sizes. Then you're in better position only spending $5.99, $7.99. And sometimes they go even lower than that. I think the lowest one I saw was like $1.99, which is crazy. Michael says, anyone get winged ones? Anthony says, Glenn, we're just size 18. Jeff says, do you use global shipping on your listings? Yes, I do. And that's really, really helped. Back in the eBay days, before global shipping, you would have to just hopefully they get your item, and it was kind of a mess. Like, there's no way you would be able to know someone got it internationally. But now that really helps with eBay stepping in. I get hella laughs when I buy the big ass shoes. That's hilarious. I know, especially like size, oh man, I think size 19, 20, the biggest ones you ever find at Ross. They always have them. Burlington's been getting a lot of them too. How do you resell Ross shoes without a box? And we talked about that too. That's a USPS shoe box, priority mail, 1 to 3 days. They fit very well in that box. More than likely, you'll spend like $8 on the low end, $10 to $12 shipping for that. Unless you charge shipping, then you're in better shape. Green Granny says, I got a 16 so cheap, but want to keep them. They make me laugh every day. That's hilarious. And Mr. Sadie says, I've had a pair of Allen Edmond dress shoes 16B for about a year now. They're going to sell. I know it. So there we go. Positive. Staying positive with those. And Heart Pickers, Ronnie is in the house. Say hello to everybody. Ronnie is in the chat. All right. So in the end, now that we're almost there to about an hour long, which is better, right? Long term or the short-term flips? And your answer is none, because you need both to really sustain your e-commerce and eBay business. Why are they both needed? Well, you don't want to be that one seller that, let's say, you flip everything so quickly that you have nothing left in stock. Of course, that would be ideal, right? That you sell everything, you get that money, but you have to reinvest to get more items in your store. If your store is almost empty, think about if you were like a retail store. Yeah, you sold items, but you never restock. Which I've also seen this happen at like um not like thrift stores, but kind of like collector stores that want to do that too. They have like a certain collector items that they kind of focus on, but they don't really like restock on items. So you do need those long-term items that are going to last there so people can um see those items last over time. If those are the ones that they want to pick up, you have them in the store, anybody can get those, but at the same time you have those quick flips in your store as well. So you need both to make money for your store. And I wouldn't skip our example for long-term items: Halloween, Christmas, seasonal stuff. You don't want to tell yourself, well, it's not football season, I really don't want to invest in this jersey because I know it's going to take August, September to sell. No, you pick it up. If it's cheap, you know the money's there. You know that certain player still plays for that team. It'll sell. It's just not going to sell right now, but your store does need it to have inventory in the long run. And I wouldn't think about like, I guess certain things like don't see it as, okay, well, I spent $1 and you took a best offer, um, like really, really low or anything like that, and you lost money. Like if you're only spending low money, $2 thrift finds, you're only making money in this case. I wouldn't want to think about the money that you could have gotten. So in my example video for Adidas discounts, okay, I made $25, $30 per shoe. You don't want to keep that in mind. Well, I could have made $40 if I would have waited a little bit longer. True, I could have made 40, but I also could have lost money because as far as the market was as far as it was looking at, when I was looking at all the listings, it was declining. So I also could have lost money, period, instead of making the $25 to $30 profit that I wanted. So I wouldn't look at it as like the could have, should have type thing. You want to make the money that you want, and you get that money and you move on to the next find. So you never want to look back. You just want to keep selling, keep making that money, and then keep moving on to the next find, building that up. All right, back to the chat. Jason says, sell any LeBron Soldier 10 breast cancer edition. Might have been sitting for a minute. I haven't sold those, but I do have LeBron Soldiers sitting there. The Ohio States, they've been sitting there for a while. Michael says, dress shoes go on sell a lot at Marshalls. Think there is a market? Totally depends on the brand and how much you're picking them up for. And Chris says, I got a quick question. I know it's off topic, but I've been selling for 3 months on eBay and just put me on restricted list selling Jordans from Ross. What do I do? And I'm gonna answer your question, Chris, but this might be for like also another show too, because I've been contacted by different people that have been kind of restricted on eBay selling Jordans, Kobe's, and other shoes recently, and that has to, well, there's a couple of things that come into play with that. First off, you're a new seller, so what eBay sees new sellers selling like high-priced items. Same thing when I told the example of the other person that was asking me about Supreme and selling Supreme stuff. When they see a new seller trying to sell high-priced items, it kind of brings up an alert to them because they don't want customers getting ripped off. So you're almost seen as like, can they trust you yet? So what I would do, if you're restricted, which they might restrict you for a couple of weeks. At least the people that I've talked to, they were restricted for like 3 weeks. Some of them for like a month, some of them even for like 2 months. If you have a warning, I would lay low. Don't sell any of that stuff yet. Hold off for the Jordan stuff, Kobe stuff, Nike stuff, high price stuff. Go to the thrift items and try to just sell those like low costing items first. Don't go to brand new, because they're also looking at the fact that you're selling brand new Jordans, brand new Kobe's without the box, and you're a new seller. You have low feedback. That just brings warning signs to them. Lay low, go back to the thrift stuff, garage sale stuff, and sell those little small things. Build up your feedback. Stay away from high price things. Once you build that up, you get more trust. Then you can go back to selling Jordans and Ross finds, but it's going to take some time to build that up again. Octavio says, hey, what's up? And then Jeff says, how do you go about looking up shirts at Ross on eBay? I don't spend a lot of time on shirts because I find it difficult to find most of the shirts. In that case, well, with Nike shirts, you can just look up the same item numbers that we've looked up for shoes. You can do that for Nike. For Adidas stuff, look at the brand new with tags. Like this one is going to be very difficult, right? Like the one that I showed you. Like this could mean anything. Let's see. This is an Adidas baseball jersey. Literally the tag says baseball jersey. Like, so in that case, if you typed in Adidas baseball jersey, more than likely, because I did this, like 4,000 results, or no, there's less than that, but thousands of results came out. So to get that even lower, I was like, okay, well, what else can I do to describe it? Well, it has the older logo, the foil logo, and it's also black. It's a black jersey. It's not MLB, like it's not a baseball team jersey. So you could also kind of classify into like streetwear. So you kind of have to like really do your homework. And if you don't have a lot of time to kind of look at different shirts that could come into play for you, but you really have to kind of like dig in to the certain categories. So more than likely when it comes to like this case, the jersey was automatically, they have subcategories of like the fan sports gear. We know it's not part of that. But we do know it's also part of menswear. So you have to kind of go down to the categories when you're searching on eBay. And it does take some time depending on the item. Mr. Sadie says, I try to average at least 4 to 5 times my money on long tail items. I think you should make more on long-term items. No, I think you're right on track when it comes to that stuff, because most of the long tail items you are spending a lot less money on because you're getting that stuff for cheap. So, and you're kind of already in the mindset that it is going to sit there longer. So in that case, I think you're pretty much on track as far as making that much money on the long-term items. Jam says, have you found any high-end soccer cleats at Burlington? A lot of people have been finding those. Sucks, but my Burlington has been super dry for a while now. Like I haven't even done any like Burlington find videos in a while. And I noticed that Ray, which I haven't even seen him, but Ray, also on Instagram, you can find him. He's been finding some really, really good cleats at Burlington. I'm going to keep checking. I go every single week. I haven't been finding any of that stuff, but when it happens, and I'll make sure I make the money from it. But it hasn't been, Burlington hasn't been good to me lately, but Ross always has. So that's been pretty consistent, but I'll keep checking Burlington. Michael, do you go after limited hype shoes? Not really, because I really don't want to invest with a lot of, I don't know, like a lot of the Jordan stuff too. Investing like $200 to $300 and then not really knowing the market. I know a lot of people have been played out from that stuff, but I just like to pretty much buy low and then sell high. That's pretty much what I like to do, instead of just buying high and then only making a small amount of profit from that. Jeff says, thanks, man. There's so many shirts, gets overwhelming. I guess I need to develop an eye for good stuff. And over time, you'll notice the same things over and over. Hey, I passed on that already. I already saw that it's not really selling that well. And then, hey, I haven't seen this item before. Let me look it up. Gabriel, all of our Burlingtons have our hyper dunks. I know a lot of hyper dunks. A lot of the A6 have been there sitting for a while. Sucks. They haven't gotten anything new. And Cho says El Paso has a ton of Ross. I know they have quite a bit of Rosses in the area. Burlington, I only have like really one good Burlington in our area, and that's the one on Yarbrough. Other than that, the West Side one doesn't get that many good shoes. And Jam says, anyone know the best time to hit up Burlington? That's totally random too. I've seen random stuff at Burlington during the week, and then I've seen it like on Fridays. But weekend, I haven't really seen any good stuff at Burlington. And Jason says, have you had any luck selling any of the Nike golf cleats from Ross? I did, man, probably like 2 years ago. I haven't sold any recently as far as any of the Ross golf cleats go. So it's been a while. So, and that is it for as far as the quick flips. I can't even talk today. Quick flips, long term, which is better? And we answered that question. You need both. We talked about the factors that come into play. We talked about the 5 tips to remember. We'll also talk about the factors as far as good quick flips, and as far as like those are. And also talked about some good long-term items and not to just let things go cheap, which you talked about, like champion jersey, out of production things. I think also starter jackets could be in there too. Those are out of production type of things, collector items. We talked about seasonal items for certain sports, also holidays. We talked about the huge shoes. Those also come into play. We can get them for super cheap. Those are good long-term items. Chris, I sold my gold cleats, Air Jordan Dominant NC Blue for $170. That's a nice flip. I was wondering about those because a lot of people were starting to find those, and I didn't see too many of those completed listings. So good flip on those Jordan Dominant, those soccer. I mean, those are the golf cleats. I was wondering about those. I hadn't seen anybody else sell those. So good to know that you're able to get rid of those. Any profitable flip, short or long, is good. So yes, as long as you're making money, you're gonna need all sorts, the long term, the short term, and any middle ground in your store. All of them are good. Don't just rely on making the quick money, not have anything in stock, and don't be one of those. I guess don't be one of those sellers that's like, I could have gotten this amount of money if I could have waited. Make the money. You got your money. Reinvest in something else and keep building it up from there. All right, guys. So Ross find of the week. Ross finds, I should say, of the week. That's going to be on Friday. Brand new video there. You guys can see that video. And then I'm editing the ones for the next week after that. So I'm going to make sure my YouTube game is good to go. I have a lot of editing to do. And a lot of listing to do. So if you're one of the followers on my eBay store, I will have a lot of stuff listed hopefully by this weekend. So thanks guys for watching this video. We'll see you guys on Friday. Ross finds of the week. Green Granny Resell. Great stuff, Glenn. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. And Cho agreed. Appreciate it. And Jeff, super helpful. Thanks guys for being right there in the chat, asking me questions. And next week we'll have a new live video, and then Friday Ross finds. Make sure you watch that video. And then Monday I want to do like random, just kind of like these one-off like thrift finds that I've been selling, because people have been asking me like, where did you find that? And I noticed that I haven't really been doing a lot of like thrift type of things. So I think I'm gonna cover like a lot of these like just random thrift haul stuff for Monday. So what's up? Say what's up. What? Shout out to Julian. So shout out to you. Thanks guys for watching. We'll see you guys on Friday. Go out and get it.